Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Wednesday it is. It is officially hump day. How are you doing? Well, the big election happened last night. What do we know? Absolutely nothing. That's where we are, as the balance of power still lies out there. Votes have not come in, but we do know this. It was definitely not a red wave as was predicted. That just didn't happen. What does that tell us about America? I'll let you decide that. A lot of ballots were cast yesterday, but no clear winner. As we will see this morning, Dr. Oz lost, a big loss there. Ron DeSantis was a huge win in Florida. How does this set up for everything else? Well, let's see here. Let's take a look as we look at of what we know at this point this morning to start things out. The House, as we go to Fox News, this is what they're reporting as to what they know right now. Democrats hold 172, Republicans 200. If I'm not mistaken, the majority will have to be 218. Still 18 seats. You know, at one point they were saying that it would be 40 to 50 seats swept by the Republicans. That did not happen. It was not an early win on that. This is what we know right now on, and this has moved up 2 for each of these before this map here was put together. I think it's at 48 now as we look at what's happening in the Senate. 48 to 48. 8 of them too close to call at this point. This will consume television today and all news headlines as we try to figure out who's going to be in control. But definitely not a sweep. I really thought Dr. Oz had that there at the end. It looked good for him, but did not happen as we learn more about this. Good morning. How are you feeling? I certainly hope you're doing good and everything is treating you well today. Hope you feel really, really good. All right, let's take a minute and let's head out to check in Collinsville. Let's get it started with a good word. Let's go out to Faith Baptist.
Don't you like being treated nice? Boy, I sure do. I love being treated with dignity, respect, fairness, graciousness, and kindness. And I bet you do too, because everybody does. Well, with that in mind, Jesus' words in Matthew 7:12 would revolutionize this community. Jesus said there, this one simple godly principle for life: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Other translations say it this way: treat others how you want to be treated. You like being treated with dignity, respect, fairness, graciousness, and kindness? Then treat others that way. That's actually one of the ways you love your neighbor as yourself. So I want to challenge you today and every day to treat others how you want to be treated. How different would our community be if we followed this one little principle from Jesus? Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Brother Ben from Collinsville First Baptist, and if you need a church to go to, check them out. Always something great going on, as I've mentioned, on Wednesdays and Sundays, and probably got a lot of other things that happen there. Very involved church. Great folks there. Always has a great message. He's getting ready for Thanksgiving. He and I talked about that yesterday. Nothing like being able to see your family that you haven't seen in a while. It does make you excited. So if you get a chance, check them out. We do appreciate them sharing the good word with us each and every morning. Charlotte Gray, how are you from Philadelphia? Lamar Hembry is up. Karina Jones joins us today. Roy Ellis is up as well. A lot of folks from Philadelphia we're seeing here. Folks, Garrett, how are you doing there? We're in APEC. James Sullivan is up as well. Virgil Williams, how are you doing? Glad to see you there. As we said, today is not a clear winner. This will be a large portion of your day. As we get results, we'll pass that along. As we look into Lauderdale County, overall, it was a big win for Michael Guest. He took away with that. And we also learned, let me scroll down to this and pull this up if you haven't seen this yet. The results were late coming into the 9 o'clock hour. As we pull up our results from Lauderdale County here, this is how Lauderdale County voted. If you look at this, 10,000 went to Michael Guest and 4,500 went for Mr. Young. As we glance down this, and most of these were unopposed. And the next thing that would grab your attention here in Lauderdale County would be this bottom vote. Oh, Miss Barbara Jones, congratulations there. As we look at this, 8,100, almost 8,200 people voted for the sale of marijuana and distribution for medical reasons in Lauderdale County. Opposed were right at 5,800. So the yays haven't, so expect that to be a part of your future here in Lauderdale County. As we said, some were for it, some were against it, but the voters have spoken one way or the other, and that's the way it will turn out. Interesting there. Wait a minute. I had some more results that came in as we look at Newton County. Rebecca Burton, the winner there with 3,900 votes, Newton County coroner. Kemper County Schools, Chris Collins gets 53% for the school board. And Neshoba County School Board, it looks as though, let's see here, there may be a runoff there as we don't have a clear over 50%. There's probably going to be a runoff in Neshoba County with Mary Ann Nicholson totaling 47% and Jermaine Simmons with 20%. So that we might see that as a runoff coming up. We'll keep you posted as to what we found out about that with all the headlines this morning. Boy, active night. As we go to Meridian, we're still waiting on some reports to come back in of some questions I've got out on several things that have gone on overnight. We do know that construction will begin today on Royal Road. If you travel that's just off of State Boulevard. There's going to be a bridge that will begin being replaced today. That's a county and a city joint adventure. So we have to reroute across Gallagher Creek there. So that is happening. We're also waiting to hear some more things that went on overnight to get confirmations on. We do know that there was a couple of gunshots fired in the city of Meridian last night. As we look at this, as we believe to be at this point in time, no one hurt, no one injured. As we pull this up, we'll go to 23rd Avenue and take a look here. We had shots reported right here in the 1700 block of 23rd Avenue. Anderson's Hospital sits here. It would be due north of there and just east of 24th before you get to the Dollar General. Gunshots reported in that general area. We also had another one on 15th Avenue last night reported. And again, both of these being no one hurt, no one injured, no damage that we know of. This would be east of Anderson's and also Rush Hospital, right down. You come down, here's the Dollar General there. This is 15th Avenue, and this will be north of Front Street, and this is Front Street Acme Plaza, and it would be back west of there as we keep track of what goes on in the overnight hours. Again, to our knowledge, no one hurt, no one damaged at this point. That's the good news. Let's see what else we've got going on this morning here. I talked about all that. We'll wait on a few more of these. We're waiting on some Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department were involved in a small chase last night. They did get their man. He would stop and run. Got out of his car and left it. As we'll take a look here, this is Highway 19. He was on the run, left his car here at Cefco, and would run back towards Village Apartments here through this wood line. He would be apprehended. Can't be outrunning the law. They'll catch you. They're pretty fast. They're very athletic. As we look at those things, let's see what else we've got going on this morning. Yesterday afternoon, we did have reports of shots on 55th Avenue. In that area there, let's pop this up where you can see this a little bit better here on the big screen. This is the all too familiar Highway 19 area. As you go toward College Park, it would be northwest of Mid-South Welding Supply, back in this area here. Oakland Heights Elementary School sits here. It would be to the northeast of there. Just due south of the health department is where those shots were fired. And again, an all too common occurrence that we have in that area. We all know that. It's just something consistently going on in that area. We also had shots reported yesterday on 10th Avenue as we pull this up for you to see. Again, none of the areas that I've mentioned, any damage reported with anything. As we go into this a little bit deeper there, this is going to be Front Street. It would be just west of there. 5 Points sits here. It would be northwest of 5 Points, the old Acme Plaza area there. No one hurt, no one injured on that one either as we track what went on yesterday. We had an accident yesterday. This was in the county as we go to South Anderson and Luther Walker Road. I don't know if everyone was aware of this. Fortunately, and somehow with the story that I'm just going to tell you, I don't believe there was really any damage to the car, and they were able to go back to work. Mail carrier, as we look at this. ran off the road, and the car was teeter-totting on the edge of a ledge. They secured the car and pulled it back, I believe, with the mail carrier in it. She's okay. Checked out, went on back to work. Somebody's with you when that goes on, isn't it? So we're very blessed and fortunate. We'll take that any day of the week. It has to be scary to be on that thing to where you feel like if you breathe, a car could tilt. We're not sure how the accident happened to begin with, but in the end, it did have a good turnout. So let's be thankful for what we do know. Now, we did have another accident yesterday that didn't. We had 2 people taken to the emergency room from this accident. This would be on Highway 19 and near Chili's at the red light there. As you're getting ready to go under the I-20 bridge, as we'll see here, this is where this took place. And as you can see here in the distance from this picture that we've got, this is the red light right here, and the cars are up there. That's a better view of what we've got there. Not the best, but here's a little bit better view. Here's the intersection right there that you're getting ready to take. A few cars damaged there, and again, it was, did I show that? Let me pull that back up. I don't think I did. But it was 2 cars injured, 2 people injured, 2 cars taken to the hospital. No life-threatening accident that I'm aware of, but did need to be checked out. So that happened yesterday. We also got word yesterday that there was an arsonist in the area in Jackson, Mississippi. They'd set several fires near Jackson State University. It turns out they've caught that. We've gone and looked at the sheriff's page there, his Twitter account in Jackson, and they have caught the bad guy. He was arrested. He set like 5 or 6 fires in the Jackson area. We're glad that he's been apprehended and taken into custody. That could have got serious very quickly there. He was taken into custody near Terry. That's what the sheriff's department is telling us. And if we were all banking on that, $2 billion, well, I hate to break it to everybody, but we're not going to win. The winning ticket was sold in California. Now, if you were in California, it's pretty big. Now, Mississippi did have 2 $50,000 winners with this. I don't think any of them has been claimed. Highway 90 and I can't pronounce this town. Never have been able to pronounce. Yeah, I can't even pronounce it. It's on the coast. I cannot get that word out. Also, we had another ticket sold in Iuka, Mississippi, that's worth $50,000 down on the coast. Quadwar? I didn't say it correctly. I cannot say that word. Boy, I tried. I'll get Candace to pronounce that a little bit later on. As we look around, let's look at, as we go to our friends there, this is the handcuffed, as we go to our friends over at Dark Horse Press here, as we look at the sheriff's page here, is what he's put out there of the arrest. And there's the arrest there that we see. The sheriff has released that. They've got him handcuffed and off to jail. He went there. Another thing that we're considering, I'm seeing this by the droves, and I'm sure you are by now, between whether you go to work or you're seeing this at church, and the little ones. There are so many people getting sick this year with the flu. Now, keep in mind that you can go to your local health department, no matter what county you're watching me from, and get a shot if you want to get that flu shot. Now, I admit I'm one of those that always scared of flu shots. I always seem to get sicker when I get them. But without a doubt, we've got a rising amount of people getting the flu, and we have to really think about why this is. We've been locked up for 2.5 to 3 years, and everyone's immune system, well, it isn't what it used to be. And anytime you come in contact with someone that is sick, they get it. Aha. Tyler. Gaucher. Yeah, that does not look like Gaucher, does it? I would have sat here and had that grr sound for the rest of the morning trying to get that out. Thank you, Sean. I do appreciate you helping me pronounce that. Anything new in the arson case in Enterprise? All we know at this point, the Sheriff's Department is still investigating. It dealt with a domestic call. As soon as we get more on that, we'll pass that along. Yeah. Busy day yesterday. But y'all watch the flu. Wash your hands as much as you can as you're out and about. We don't want you sick, without a doubt. We go to Jackson, Mississippi next, and this is just horrible. No, actually, this is Vicksburg. I made a mistake on that. This is horrible. And the reason I said Jackson, was it last year? I think this happened in Byram, just on the outskirts of Jackson. But as we all get up every day and we head off to work to earn a living for our family is what we do. Whatever you do it for your family. You don't expect to be harmed while you're at work, and that was not the case in Vicksburg, as we find out that a person went to work at the Red Roof Inn. Normal thing. Around 3 a.m. they were shot during an attempted robbery. That's just bad. Unknown amount of money was taken. The clerk is in stable condition. But that's in Vicksburg where that went on. Crime. And you have to really consider, if you're a criminal watching me, think about this. People don't really use cash to purchase hotel rooms anymore. It's all on credit cards. The 90% of it, you may have one in a blue moon come in. You're not going to get away with much if you're a criminal watching this morning. Think about that. Same thing with convenience stores. It's just not what it used to be. Is it really worth going to jail? Apparently they thought so, didn't they? We do hope that the clerk recovers, but at least they did not lose their life. We do not know the condition of them right now as we look at this. We had someone escape in the Jackson area, Hinds County. The sheriff says they are still looking for an escaped convict on Highway 18. As we go to the sheriff's page here, let's go to his Twitter page. He's released a picture of this. This is Hinds County here. If you happen to know this young man here, that's who they're looking for there in Hinds County there. Escaped detainee Preston Hart. He's 29. If you'll look at this, he's wearing a red jumpsuit. He's on foot in a wooded area near County Farm Road and Highway 19. He was arrested for burglary, armed robbery ×2, a convicted felon with a firearm, and he's also resisted arrest in the past. It comes from the sheriff of Hinds County as we look at things that are going on across the state of Mississippi. Ann Hall says somebody in her family took the flu shot and is now sick. Telling you, it's not just in my mind. I used to have doctors tell me, oh, you're thinking that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I really think there's more to it than that. It's like they're injecting you with it or something. I don't know. We do see that a young lady in Jackson, Mississippi, who was shot last week in a drive-by. Somebody pulled in front of her car, whipped out guns and shot her. She has now passed away. This moves up to a murder charge. That is just awful. She was at the University of Medical Center. Her name was Lucy Tanner. We pass along condolences to her family. They have not released a motive in this. We assume that it was targeted. We don't know that. This is a pretty big deal as we go to Jones County, which is just due south of the Meridian area. If you go down toward Laurel, Hattiesburg area, you know where I'm talking about. Sheriff's Department pulled somebody over, and guess what? They had 10 kilos of cocaine. Pretty serious, as they were from Texas, the person that done that. This is just an area where all of this passes through, where they're going to from the coast to Atlanta, those areas, passes through these areas of Mississippi, Jackson, Meridian, Hattiesburg, is all a travel way for these folks that do this stuff that's against the law. We see this is awful. As we go to the Mississippi Delta, a 16-year-old arrested for shooting another 16-year-old. Now, what could you be arguing about at teenagers that is worth shooting someone? We don't know the reason. We can only assume, and we're leaving it at an assumption at this point. It's bad either way. We hope the parents will get involved and somebody will help this out and stop all of this. Arguments do happen between spouses. We know that. Sometimes you don't like the way somebody cooks. You could come in from work in a bad mood and just snap at somebody and be rude. I think we've all said things that we don't mean when you're married or to a family member or a good friend. You're in a bad mood and somebody snaps at you. But this is a little bit further as we go back to Greenville, Mississippi, where a wife has been arrested. She just went ahead and hit her husband with a car. I think he's going to be all right, but he's been hit with the car. She's been arrested. He didn't like it too much. He called the popo. She's gone to jail. Now, no word on how they'll work that out when she gets out. We see that, where do we go to this? Hattiesburg. Let's go back down there in that area there. We have a brother and sister duo. Nothing like your siblings. You stick together. And they did just that. They shot somebody together. Convicted felons and connected with a weekend shooting there. Stays in the family, doesn't it? Do you remember the airplane crash that we talked about from the Columbus Air Force Base? Crashed into a field there near Crawford, Mississippi. And a lot of us know that area. If you don't live in that area and you go to North Mississippi, you know Crawford as you'll pass through to where everybody stops at the bakery. And then Crawford is that next section that you'll go through. You know that going to Mississippi State, or if you're headed up to Ole Miss in these areas to ball games, that's where that plane crash happened, a jet. They were training. They're saying that the pilot's going to recover fine. He's at home. He was able to eject out of the plane before it crashed to the ground. No word yet on what caused the crash, but he's okay. That's good. This could be a totally different story. Are they turning on Trump after last night? We have to wonder. Is it time for Republicans to dump Trump? That's what the headlines read this morning, since it was not a red wave. DeSantis did do well last night as they saw numbers and numbers of Miami being won by the GOP, which has not been done in years. A lot of people, as you look at the statistics of this and you do the breakdown of it, Hispanics voted for him huge, and also others in the state were voted the same way. It was big in that area. Marco Rubio being one of those. We'll find out more about all of that as the day begins and we start it. We'll check your forecast next. How are you feeling? Right now, we're 62 degrees. We'll take a look at the map where we got some fog in the areas. All that's next as we start this beautiful morning with you. I'll stay close. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Mark your calendars for the 5th annual Hickory Pickin' Day. It's Saturday, November the 12th from 9 in the morning till 4 that afternoon with plenty of parking. With over 100 vendors inside and outside the store. Arts, crafts, clothing galore. With jewelry and antiques and those hard-to-find items. Don't forget to bring the kids along for the petting zoo. Entertainment from Meridian's own Emily White and Daniel House and many more. Mark your calendars for Hickory Pickin' Day, Saturday, November the 12th from 9 until 4 in Hickory.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
As we check our record highs and record lows, it was 05. We had a high of 84 degrees on this day. We'll go back to 51 when it was absolutely cold. 22 was a record low set on this date, 1951. This is what we're expecting today. Not much difference, 10 degrees difference. We started out earlier this morning in the wee hours at about 4 when I sat down at 68, and it's dropped to 62. We're headed for a high of 72 before it's done. 75 in Hattiesburg today, and a warm 80 in Vicksburg. As we go east into Bama, we'll see about the same weather that's going to happen in Mississippi. We see that it'll be 73 in Tuscaloosa. Birmingham cooler at 70. As we look ahead, cooler weather is on the way, and it will arrive this weekend as we look at this. No warm areas anywhere. As we see, today 72, and this starts the cooling trend. 73 on Thursday, 76 our high, and look at this over the weekend as we move into 50-degree weather. Nighttime lows will be right at freezing. Sunday night, it looks to be at freezing. Saturday night as well. Be prepared for this. Make sure that your pets are ready for this. Cold weather for us as we head into the weekend. Look at that. Whew. All right, and let's go ahead and look at next week as we go through all the way to the 23rd. Highs of 50 for the most part. Around the 20th, we'll make it back to 60 degrees. And we'll get up to about 68 one day there on the 21st. Slight chances of rain through that. But it's going to be a drastic change of weather coming to where we've been walking around in shorts. You might need a little jacket. Now, as we go to take a look at what's happening in the coastals weather, what do we got going on with the tropics? This is it. Tropical storm Nicole is at 46 miles an hour. Moving northwest at 8 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and look at this. I think that's changed a little bit since I did that. It is expected to come ashore tonight in the wee hours as we get ready for Category 1. It will reach, and yeah, it is taller than that, more it is. Here we go this morning. Let's look at the actual statistics of what we have. 69 miles an hour is what we've got right now. of tropical storm. She's moving along at west-southwest at 13 miles an hour and is expected this afternoon, if you'll look at this, around noon today, to move to a Cat 1 at 75 miles an hour. It will come ashore and go across most of Florida, back out into the Gulf, and then into Georgia it will go. Now, again, 75-mile-an-hour winds is what is expected for it to hit when it comes ashore later tonight. Keep Florida in your thoughts and prayers as this comes about. Not good. They definitely do not need this happening there in Florida at all. But it's on the way, so we'll watch it very closely and keep you posted. The fishing forecast for today, as we go to Chet's Paint and Body, it looks like we'll have the best time at 8 o'clock this morning through about 10 if you want to go fishing. A minor time will be late this afternoon when you get off work, but if you had a little bit extra time today around 12:30, 1 o'clock would be a good time to hit it. It's a good day to fish as we see the east wind's going to be 5 to 10, but gust of 20. Be careful with that. It's going to be a very gusty day. Now, let's go back and take a look at radar and just look at what all we do have locally. We do have fog out to our west as we pull reading Honda radar back up and take a look at this. Mississippi is all clear right now, fog, nothing going on. Great looking weather. As we look here, let's turn on some temperatures so you can see what's going on across the state here. Meridian sitting at 62, at NAS Meridian 59 degrees. As we go to Columbus Air Force Base, 55. Not bad at all. As you look here over in Louisiana, look at the fog in Arkansas that they have this morning. A little bit in Texas also as well this morning. So be careful if you've got to go west of here, and that's that path there where she's going to be coming in. It'll come back in there to Georgia at 40-mile-an-hour winds. Again, that's Nicole if you're seeing that for the first time tuning in. Be careful. Watch all of that. So look at your forecast this morning as we start this. Joyce Poole, how are you today? Also, the Wanda Grantham is up. Glad to see y'all. Connie Dunn will be back in roughly an hour and 2 minutes from now. We'll give you all that's going on throughout the area to let you know the latest of the latest as we begin our Wednesday today. It is Hump Day. We've made it through the week, halfway there toward the weekend. We look forward to seeing you back in just a little while. Thank y'all for dropping by for a little bit. I'll see you soon here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: